Hello. Hello, everybody. Peter Vaughan here with Cardboard Alchemy, and we are streaming a live Q&A for our Flamecraft Kickstarter and any questions related to the Pledge Manager. So I know we've got a couple of questions. I did a stream yesterday, so we might have all of them answered, but I'm sure not. We'll see if anyone comes in. Otherwise, I'm going to talk about some topics that might be on people's mind. But if you have a comment, feel free to chime in and ask. Someone says, it's you again. Thanks, Kai. Yes, I'm back. We're here to make this game. We're here to get it done. So this is the first step. Pledge Manager is where we figure out the quantities needed for manufacturing. And that's where you can tell us if you want a plush or not, if you want an art book, all those things help. So the first thing I should mention is the Pledge Manager is open from October 16th to November 24th. We put a deadline so that we can get all of those counts in. There may be, if you've pledged and you missed the deadline, we may be able to still, we'll still get you finished in the survey, but we can't guarantee all the items will be available. That's why November 24th is there. It also helps our translation partners as well know how many copies in French or Japanese or German. These are some good things to know. Thank you for commenting. Someone says, such a good game. Can't wait to see the published version. We are excited as well. This has been an exciting journey. Just getting started on the manufacturing front. We're still, getting paper supplies and talking to game trays, and we're figuring out all these different parts of it. We're going to make the minis soon. We're ordering plastic, all this stuff. And we're going to share all that along the way. But the first thing we got to do is help everybody out with the Pledge Manager. So that's what I'm talking about today. Now, later I might have this video open on YouTube so you can scrub through it. So we're going to try and do this by sections. I will, of course, take any questions. If you type them in, we'll get to those. But I'm going to start with some topics that I know are hot topics. One of them is the free stuff that's in your cart. So, for example, everyone who backed the campaign got a free Fancy Dragon pin in their cart. And if you did some of the puzzles, you might have gotten a free Fancy Dragon, or if you'd signed on our newsletter, you might have gotten coasters. And everyone's sort of wondering, are those in my cart? I want to show you, I have a screen actually. I have a screen up where I can show you this. This screen right here, ignore the first one because that is a beginning of a survey. But what I want to show is, let's see if I can find it. This area that I've circled right here, that is where all the free stuff shows up. It is very hard to find because it is in light gray and it's below the game that you pledged, or it's right below your level. So that's what it will look like. It'll have free stuff possibly in there. Now, there's a caveat to that. Let me show you another one. This is for this right here is like, for example, let's say you don't have all the stuff, but you do always have that pin. That is for every backer. That is even in a $1 level, you have that pin. Now, normally the pin does not come unless you have a shippable item, but we've added a default shipping in even the $1 level so that you can check out for just the pin if you want to. But that's where it appears. Now, the problem people have run into is if you switch levels, if you go from a $1 level to a game tier, or you go from a $39 shopkeeper to a $79 deluxe pledge, Backer Kit does drop these free things. But that's not a problem. We know about this little quirk, and we're going to every week add back in the free stuff. So if you got a fancy mini by doing a puzzle and it drops out because you switch, every week we're going to go and check and add those back in everyone's cart. You don't need to do anything on your end. We're going to solve that for you. Sorry that it happens. It's one of those quirks we couldn't get around, but we decided to fix it for, like everyone going forward will get the free stuff. Now, someone, even if you've checked out and paid already, and you're like, I paid before the Fancy Dragon was in my cart, we can add that. And we will be adding that to every single person who's missing a pin or a Fancy Dragon or a coaster. We got you covered. Now that I've covered that section, I've got a couple of questions here, so let me go to that. Nathan asks, what about shipping? Now, I'm here to answer any questions about shipping that you have. If you have a more specific question, Axel says, do I get a special shipping rate if I follow Brad's recommendation of ordering 100 plushes? That was from yesterday's stream. And yeah, sure. You get the first plush free shipping. You get the first bread and the first meat plush free shipping, and the other 98 plush, you will have a shipping charge. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. Hello, I already filled out my survey, but just here to say hi. Hi back. Let's see. We have a question about how many Mission Catastrophe are left. I don't know if I have Brad in the stream to tell me that answer right now. They're going fast. I don't know how many we're sitting at right now. If it's still in your cart as a possibility, we still have one left. Someone's asking about how the puns and dragon names will be translated into their language in German. Well, okay, so each publishing case is different. We have a partner in every single country. So for example, in Germany, the partner is still being finalized, but we have two really big offers on the table. So it might be Asmodee, for example, and it might be another company. I don't recall exactly, but when we get that final answer, we are going to have a contact, and that contact will tell us what they intend to do with the names. We've already reached out to, say, some countries. For example, we reached out to White Goblin Games, who's doing our Dutch version. And they said that since the names will not be funny in Dutch, they are going to translate all of the names. We've gotten an answer from our Japanese partner, who said that for the case of dragon names, they're going to do it's a pronunciation. So, for example, if you have the dragon name Honey, it won't literally be the name of, what bees, it won't be bees type of honey. It will actually be the syllables to create the sound. Whereas the shops, I believe, are being done differently. And each partner, that's going to be made by the publishing partner, who has a long history of publishing games in their country. They know what their backers want, and we trust them to do that. Now, as each case comes through, we'll be happy to share it with everyone, so you can make your best decision. Some of those things might not happen until the very end of the Pledge Manager, because we are still asking. And those companies are, of course, getting used to our game and trying to figure out what they will do with the title on the box and the cards in the game. And it differs. Everyone's going to take a different strategy on it, and that's best for their market. But hopefully we'll have some answers on some of those things, so that if you're trying to decide between English and muddling through with, say, some of your friends who don't speak as much English, or going for the translated version, one thing that people have said is, I don't know if the translated version will be a good quality or a good translation. That I can say, I assure you, we're going with companies that make games in that language. They publish games. They have customers already. It's not like they're professionals. So I know that everyone's going to choose the right thing for that region. So I don't have any doubt on that front. And Michael shouts out my name, and he's on Facebook, and he's signed up on the StreamYard, so he doesn't show up as a Facebook just blank user. How's it going, Michael? It's good to talk to you. In fact, I'm going to be on your stream today, aren't I? Later tonight, there's the Full 42, which is a fun vidcast where people talk about just geeky stuff and games, and I'm a guest on that show later today. We'll have to, Michael will have to post the link for his episode in this YouTube, so people can check it out. Let's see. Someone asked, and this is a hard question, the shipping to Sweden was estimated at about $20, but when I finished everything, the total was around double. What you're looking at is VAT, and VAT is not a friendly topic. I personally hate VAT. I hate that we have to add VAT. A lot of Kickstarters in the past kind of didn't add VAT, and that got everyone in this mode of like, oh, VAT's not due. But as a friend of mine said, if you go to the grocery store and you pay for bread, there's VAT on the bottom of that receipt. And if you go and pay for a bread dragon, there's also VAT for that bread dragon. So unfortunately, it's not good news. But if you're in a country that collects VAT, and that's largely all of Europe, EU, UK, to some degree Canada, there's other countries as well. I mean, there's Australia and New Zealand, but I believe that VAT is kind of worked in with the shipping partner we have there. But in some cases, and we've consulted with our fulfillment company, VAT is due. So that's why that happens, is the VAT is charged on both the pledge itself, the full pledge, plus it's also charged on the shipping, which, by the way, I think that's ridiculous. I hear you. I feel you. I wish I could do something about it. But all of the Kickstarters that have done really well before us have alerted the authorities that Kickstarter is a place where you've got to pay up. So we have to pay and collect VAT. The only thing I can tell you, the best thing I can say about VAT is I hope this game will be worth it. We've crammed it with extras. We've got a fancy dragon pin we're giving everybody and special shops and this and that. We've made the thing the best we can make it, and the neoprene mat and the cool art on 42 different shops. It's just, I mean, Flamecraft is going to shine on the table, and there's a lot of exclusives and things that we're never going to give to any retail. So I hope that helps. We thank you for everyone who's decided to support this game, and we're going to make it the best possible. Let's see. Someone's asking till when can I change the language? Now, you do have to select the language when you select your item going through the survey, but you can go back to the survey and pick another language. That can be done all the way until we lock orders on the 24th of November, probably even later than that. If you write us an email later and say, hey, listen, I really want to switch languages, that is not that big of a deal. We are going to order the right amount for the countries, so we can't do that. It'll be while supplies last if you change it after the 24th. Let's see. Someone says, I just filled in the pledge manager. I thought it was a great guided manager and everything was clear. Thank you for saying that. I am going to show some screens of the pledge manager right now because I know that some folks, this might be the first time you're seeing these screens. So I just want to go through those screens with you. So I'm going to do that right now. Let me show you what happens when you get to the pledge manager. I'm going to pick someone who's backed for $1, and I'll show you that right now. So this is the screen you're going to see when you first log in. It may have the country for shipping blank. In this particular case, I've got it set. It says United States. It says I'm in California. That's also because there's a little bit of tax for California. But you'll notice it says your pledge up at the top and has an amount. Currently it's saying $9. It might even say $99. If it says $99, it doesn't know where you're from yet. This particular $9 is like a United States amount. There's a base level shipping that's in every dollar level. And the reason for that is because some people just want merchandise. They don't want a game, so they just want to get merchandise, and we have a base level shipping for that. If you do not finish your survey or don't get anything, you don't owe that money. So it is just in there in case you finish and want to do that. Now, the key thing to talk about at this point is that this is where you could switch levels. This is one of the key areas where you can switch levels. If you notice, there are two ways to do this. The $1 townsfolk is a blue link, and also below that green button, which is trying to get your attention, is a switch your pledge level. If you click on either of those, or especially, I think if you click on the bottom one, I think if you click on the top one, you get a menu that says go to the next one. And then the next one is this menu you get if you click on the bottom one. And that shows you how to switch. Now, one caveat to switching is that if you switch, that's great. Just know that the fancy dragon pin will no longer be in your cart, thanks to the snafu I mentioned earlier. None of the free stuff is in when you switch, but we will add it back, no problem. But this is one of the areas where you can switch. Now, if you choose not to switch yet and you go to the next screen, here's what that looks like. Next screen looks like this. This is where we tell you that you cannot buy a game if you stay in the $1 level, because we've worked this out so that all of the game-related perks are in one area. So if you want a game and you want to get all those things, you've got to switch. So again, you can switch from this screen. Just to show you, this is the area where you switch. You can click on the $1 reward link, which will bring up a pop-up. And from that pop-up, you can click on the one that'll say, at the top of that pop-up is a switch your pledge levels. So it's a little bit buried, but this is how you would switch. You can do that anytime in the survey, because everywhere in the survey, that same $1 reward but link is still there. So this is screen number 2. This is reminding you that there are certain things that only come with a game pledge, and those things are the promos, the Flame Starter, the Spice Tower, the bookmarks, the 6 alternate starters, and any other free things, the Fancy Dragon and coasters. Now, since we wrote this, you can actually check out in the $1 level with the Fancy Dragon miniature, but remember there's base level shipping. What I'm saying is that the game tier is where you get all of the other stuff like the bookmarks and stickers. After you move on from that, there is, it's talking about the shipping fee that we've added, explaining that so that you understand. Now, this is another tricky thing about this part is, what if you're a $1 backer and you just want to be done? Like, I don't want any more emails. I was just supporting the campaign, or I'm part of a group pledge. I just want out. That same area where you can switch into a game tier, you can switch into another tier called thanks and done. And if you do that, the base level shipping fee will be gone. All the items will be gone. You just be checking out. That is so that if you just want to be done with these surveys, you don't want to get emails anymore from BackerKit, that is the way to do it. You can go thanks and done and out. Let's see. We also have the next screen after that. If you keep going and you're just in the merch category, we are reminding you that you can check out and get just the pin. That's been added to everyone's cart. So again, if you don't switch, it's right there. And then the last thing is, of course, asking if you want to be part of our newsletter, which I highly recommend because we don't spam anyone. All we do is talk about when there's games to back. So basically, pretty good deal. Also, it has opportunities to test games. It also usually has a link to whatever game we're giving away on YouTube. We often give away games here at this company. So this is all that email does, is it says, hey, what can I win? What's launching on Kickstarter? When's my game coming? It's really not anything other than that. That's it. That's walking through the pledge manager. I'm going to go back to questions now, just to see if we've got any other ones. Someone says people don't want this game. I mean, right? This is, well, some people, to be fair, some people are fans of Sandara, and they just want a book. They just want Sandara's art, and I get that. I totally get that. But this game also has all of the art and a really fun time playing with dragons running around and little pieces of toast, and it's a blast. So I think people should take another look at the game. If you're thinking that you don't play games and this might not be fun, this is a good accessible game for a lot of people. I want to be able to look at the pledge manager without finalizing it. Can I just go in there and look and then close the window without doing any damage? Absolutely. None of this stuff is absolutely locked. There's only one case where something gets charged, and that's PayPal. So if you go through the screens I just showed you, you can actually go right back through those screens again. If you add tons of things in your cart, you can take them back out. There is no charge at all. If you finish the add-on screen, here, I'll go back to the add-on screen and show that. If you finish the add-on screen, I'm gonna, by this way, this is a screen that I will, this is in the survey for when you are getting a game, and it shows you all of the stuff you're getting. So this screen right here explains all of the bonus stuff that you're getting, and a lot of people don't see that later in the cart, and they're like, wait, am I getting stickers? You are. It's mentioned right here, and it's in this picture. But to go back to what I was saying is that this is the add-on screen, and when you hit that next button, even if you've put tons of things in your cart, you are not charged. The next screen will actually take you to add your address, add your credit card, and even then it will take you to a final confirmation page where it will ask you, do you want to charge with a card or do you want to pay with PayPal? If you put in a card, again, you are not charged until November 24th when we say, hey, this is it. We're going to charge cards. The only exception to that is if you pick PayPal, which if you pick PayPal, it charges immediately right then and there. And how that works logistically is if you pick PayPal and you added one plush, and then you later go in PayPal and you add another plush or something, or a bookmark set, you'll just pay each time. Each time you check out with PayPal, it charges again. Don't do that, though, because it's more fees. Well, it's not fees on your side. We get a bunch of fees. Try and figure out all the things you want. It's helpful. But if you don't do PayPal, literally your cart will just sit there. You can adjust it all the way you want until November 24th. That's when we're going to charge. We're going to have email updates. We're going to go over when that's coming up. So there's going to be no shock. It's going to be like, hey, everybody, we're going to lock next week. We're going to lock 2 weeks from now. That kind of stuff will happen. Claire asks a really great question. Will it all be shipped together? It will be, no matter if you do the thing I just said in PayPal several times. Everything is being shipped together. So the game, the plush, art book, the mini art, all the free stuff, the fancy dragons, everything is coming out of the same place. So pins. So the only difference to that is Mission Catastrophe, which is our last game on Kickstarter, which is about to deliver. It's really exciting. It's almost done. It's going to get on a boat and it's going to arrive. And that particular one, if you pay for that game, you will get that shipping is separate and charged separate, and then you will get that game first. You will get to play a game from Cardboard Alchemy first, early in the year, and then Flamecraft will arrive. Someone's asking, I paid €99, 79 for the game, and 20 for a plushie. I'm not sure how to make the pledge correctly. So when you get to, someone's answering, thank you for that. When you get to that page, that add-on page, the plush is something you have to click and add to your cart. You'll have a credit of the $20, and then when you add the plush, it'll be subtracted. Actually, well, shipping will already have started to subtract from it. So what you'll do is you'll go grab all the things you want, and then you'll see what your total is. And anything you paid on the Kickstarter will be credited. Someone's asking if we add the free stuff or if it's added automatically. All the free stuff is added automatically. It has been already added to everyone's cart, $1 level included. The only caveat to that is if you switch levels, it gets erased. But as we mentioned at the beginning, we will be putting that back in weekly. So if you don't see it, don't worry about it. If you don't see it after a week or two, then yeah, write us our email. By the way, for everyone who's wondering, is hello@cardboardalchemy.com. And we'll answer lots of things at that email. Anything wrong with your pledge? Again, free stuff will show up. You do not need to email us, but if you run into more serious things with your pledge, like even after we fixed it, maybe you answered the puzzles with a different email, and so it's not showing up, we will fix it at that email. Also, hello@cardboardalchemy.com is also really good for group pledges. If anyone's in a group, the way the groups are going to work is you also don't need to write us. We will reach out to everyone who clicks, yes, I am the organizer of a group. But if you're wondering and have questions about the groups, of course, email us and let us know. Let's see what else we've got. We have, what does White Goblin Games have to do with Flamecraft? Are you confused with the different Kickstarter? Someone's asking about White Goblin Games. Oh, because I mentioned earlier that White Goblin Games is going to be publishing the Dutch language version of Flamecraft. So now, so to go back to that question, they're wondering if the Kickstarter exclusive stretch goals will be included of the Dutch version if you're buying from White Goblin Games. And the answer to that is no. So what we did with the publishing partners is we allowed all of the partners to get the base game and the deluxe. And the deluxe only for a limited time, the same first print run that we're doing. After that, nobody can have it. And that's a really big deal. Most Kickstarters do not offer the deluxe to their partners, but we definitely wanted everybody to get a chance to get dragons. That's funny. Nope, I don't want to answer a call right now. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry, where I was saying that the deluxe version of the game is offered to partners, but what is not offered to partners, not offered to retail in any way, are the Kickstarter exclusives. So this is the only place to get the promos, the Spice Tower, the Flamestarter statue. This is the only place to get the mini art prints, the free bookmarks, the stickers, the Fancy Dragon pin. This is the only place to get those things. We did put the companion dragons into the game, and that is because more people wanted the companion dragons translated. That was very important to folks because they do have powers on them. So we decided to put the companion dragons back in the game, which will mean that so it's great news for some people who are kind of bummed at how many things that they weren't going to get if they ordered in their region. But the companions are going back into the game. The other thing about the game that everyone's going to have if you order from any one of our partners is you're going to have a very high quality game that has stretch goals in it. It It has all the stretch goals like extra shops. It has the neoprene mat. I mean, it has the silkscreen dragon meeples. So you're getting a very good game. And like I said, we're also offering the deluxe version of the game to all of our partners, which is huge, huge. And I think people are going to love it. But it's limited because our Kickstarter has that. We want everything to be special. If you were here at the launch of Flamecraft, one second. Oh, now we're going to go look at some more questions. I told Brad Brooks to join us on this stream here. Let's see. Someone asked how we feel like the project is progressing compared to our original projections. And I think we are doing fantastic so far. We are, what we're doing is we're finalizing all of the bits of the development, and we're finalizing our manufacturing contract. So it's at that stage where we're, very, we got our eye on the ball. We know exactly how long we have. Now, there's a couple wrinkles that may come into that. We have to finish, various parts by, for example, we have to have all of the rules figured out 100% by the time we start writing the rule book. And then we have to write that rule book in English completely so we can hand it off to the translation partners. Then the translation partners need enough time so they can translate it, because we are going to print at the exact same time with every country. That is hard to do. So, but I am 100% laser focused on doing that. We've already talked to our manufacturing partner. One of the biggest things companies run into is that Chinese New Year is in February. And our goal is to get things to print right now. Like, for example, we're going to start the minis immediately. Give or take the quantities. Obviously, we need to figure out the exact quantities, but we have a good idea of how many minis we need, and we're going to start with that. And then the other thing is that we're going to work on getting those languages all finished by late December from every country. And if we can do that and get into sort of the factory queue before Chinese New Year starts, we are in great shape. If we come out on the other side and we're past Chinese New Year, we will have probably a delay. The other thing that can happen is freight and boats and shipping is just a mess right now. So we don't know. We can't control certain parts of the timeline. But the really good news about this campaign and what we believe in Cardboard Alchemy is transparency and communication. So what we're going to do is we're going to post a schedule up and say where we are, what's happening. If we start to fall short of some of these goals, it'll only be because we're making a better game in the end. I know that for sure. Like, if we are taking the time to get something exactly right, or to test something else, or to work something out with the manufacturer, we'll take that time. We're going to make the best game. Let's see what else we have. Oh, someone saying they fell in love with the game from when we showed it on the Dice Tower Summer Spectacular. Thank you for that. We're excited to be partnering with the Dice Tower and have a shop in there that is exclusive. The Spice Tower is such a fun shop. And as we've been testing now in our Discord, that shop is just, as soon as that shop comes out, I want to go there. It's such a cool power. And we're going to be doing some more tests with backers. If you are in our Discord, and you hang around our Flamecraft channel, we're going to do we're not going to open the Tabletopia at this time until all the rules are fully baked and all the rules are done and all the pieces are in production. But we are going to open it to, we're going to have a Google form where you can play some of the latest shops and then put some feedback in. Because what we're looking for is that final balance. If somebody, we change some fancy dragons to make them what we think is better, because we're taking all the different strategies in the game. Manny's a really good player and Brad's a really good player, and I have to compete with them. So we're like, okay, this time I'll try a completely fancy strategy and you try the go only shops or go enchantments as fast as possible. And we're trying all those strategies. But one of the reasons why we may bring other backers in to test it also is that we tend to not do the crazy. We might not try and break the game. We definitely try and break the game, but sometimes someone will just do something you don't expect and say, "Oh, that's it. I never thought about doing that with that shop and this dragon." So anyway, we're at that fun stage where we'll share it with a couple people in Discord, and you can give us your opinion on fancy dragons and shops and stuff. And for anyone who's there, it's a It's not like we're inviting everyone in. It's not, I'm just going to pick and choose when I feel like, okay, this person's played a couple times and I need their opinion on this balance we just did. Or, hey, we're picking all people who have never tried it. Or, hey, I want to pick someone, I need a 5-player game. So it's just going to be, I'm going to select as needed to get that testing done. And, if you do not get picked, you will get a chance to play this game. We are going to open up the Tabletopia and a TTS version of the game while we're in production. Something that we want to do for everybody to play the game while you're waiting. Again, another perk for being a backer. Let's see. So we've got, let's see, more questions here. Oh, 40 Mission Catastrophes are left. Definitely, if you want any more information about Mission Catastrophe, it is our first game. The goal of that game is you're on a doomed spaceship. You're an alien on a mining mission, and you've just found out that your ship is being pelted with asteroids. And spoiler, it ain't going to make it. The ship is going to go down, and then you find out there's only one escape pod. So in the competitive version of that game, it is a race to grab all the different things you need, set the fuse to the pod that you want, make sure the engine's working, and then go. It is very fun and cutthroat and crazy, and it's a short, quick blast of a game. And it plays 2 to 6 in the competitive mode, and then you can play 1 to 6 in a cooperative mode, where now at least the other teammates are not trying to kill you or get into the pod first, but you all have to get into a pod before the terrible stuff happens. And then we've added some fun things in co-op and solo, like bots that are out of control and marauders that have come onto the ship. And so it is a blast. Mission Catastrophe at its core feels a little bit like Pandemic meets Machi Koro, in the sense that it's got a timer like Pandemic. The ship is just going. I mean, you can't wait forever. And then the Machi Koro part is that you roll 2 dice, and the module that gets rolled, say you roll 2 dice and you get a 7, that's the engine room, that takes a hit. And so it has this dice probability. You know which rooms are more likely to be hit. All the rooms have different powers. And what's really cool about it is it includes the expansion, which has 12 more modules, some of which are rooms that shouldn't belong in the ship, like the chompers. Things that, if you've already played the game and you want to just mix it up, there's tons of fun modules. Not only that, but everyone plays a role. So you can play the captain or you can play the engineer. And there's actually 36. Let's see, 36. 36 roll cards. So in other words, there's 3 different forms of being the captain. So there's just like so many different ways to play. You can play the red shirt, you can play the cruise director. Mission Catastrophe is an absolute blast. It's customizable like crazy. It's our first game made by Mission Catastrophe, designed by Matt Walters and art by Sergio Chavez. And it's I'm biased, but I think it's a great core game with a lot of ways to vary it up. 40 of those left. All right, let's get back to Flamecraft questions. Someone's saying, if the Kickstarter exclusive stretch goals are not provided to the partners, am I correct to assume they won't be translated? That is incorrect. We heard back from people that they want the promos translated, so we are going to translate the promo cards like the Spice Tower and the Flame Starter statue. We are going to first ask our partners if they will be willing to do that, because of course we are in a partnership. If they are not, we're going to find someone else to translate those 2 cards, and we're going to pay the extra fees. There's quite a bit of a fee to run a small print run, but we are going to do that because it's important to have everything translated. Then on the companion dragons, because that was a little bit more complicated, we took the companion dragons and we put them in every box. So by giving it to all the partners, they will be translated. And then we took the alt starter shops and we made that an icon language and no text required. So the alt starter shops don't have language. And so that's how we solve that. We're translating what we need to. We're giving items to partners when we need to, and we're taking the language off the other items so that nothing in this game will not be fully translated. That's a terrible way to say that. Everything in this game will be fully translated. It's better. Let's see. So when we say that there is stuff not available to the translation partners, does this include translations available through BackerKit now? So if you're a backer right now, you get the best of all the worlds. You get to get the fully translated stuff, and you get to get all the exclusives. To some people, especially folks who are saying, I don't want to pay the shipping and the VAT. Well, you can go with waiting for when, say, your country has the game. You can wait for our Dutch partner, and we're excited that you'll be able to get a deluxe game. You'll get to save the shipping, but you won't get all the bonus stuff. So that's sort of the trade-off. Definitely, we appreciate the fact that Kickstarter, everyone who's here to help us fund, we want to give some people some perks for that. And then of course, if you say, hey, listen, that's great, but I would really rather just get a cheaper deal. Well, we're excited that you could do that. In so many different countries, Flamecraft will be available. Let's see. Someone says, the companion dragons are the ones named Peter, Brad, Manny, Sandara. Yes, I think it's hilarious that happened. I will tell you, I never intended to put like ourselves in this game. I definitely wanted to put Sandara in the game, but I thought it was kind of, hey, you know what? I'm honored to be in the game. If you're playing later, we're going to give the Potion Dragon, which is my dragon, the coolest companion power of all of them. No, I'm just kidding. The companion powers are very balanced, but we're going to give me the coolest one, just saying. So if you pick me to be at your table, I'll totally help you win Flamecraft later. I'm a late pledge that when that opens up, will I be able to order the game and get all the extras? I did the puzzles and commented on the feeds when you were offering things. Now that one's a tricky one. Okay, so the late pledges, which we are going to open that today, that's sort of a chance for anyone who missed the Kickstarter to get in. So the question is, what does that person get? Well, you get a lot. You do not get free fancy dragons and coasters, because those were specifically Kickstarter things. But you do get, and this is a big deal because we did not have to put this in there, you get a free fancy dragon pin, you get free bookmarks, you get all the stretch goals, you get all the exclusives that even the stores aren't going to get. So yes, you can come in and still be part of the party. Just can't get the promos. The promotional things were the free mini and the coasters, but you can still buy the mini and the coasters, so you can still have everything. That's one of the biggest things we wanted to make sure, is this: there was a promotion to get free minis. No one's excluded from getting that mini because you didn't find it in 48 hours or whatever. You can still get that mini. If you did the puzzles, we appreciate you doing the puzzles. We're going to have puzzles probably on all our Kickstarters, so you've just practiced for the next one. Let's see, which things should I see as free in my cart? I only see deluxe and fancy pin. Should I see something else? So everyone should just see the pin. There were a couple of promotions. If you did a puzzle, any of the puzzles, and got a correct answer, there were 7 puzzles, then we offered the fancy dragon free. However, you could still buy the fancy dragon for 5. So if you did not do a puzzle, then you still could add the fancy dragon. The other promo was coasters. If you were there were lots of different ways to win coasters, but one of the main ways was if you were subscribed to Cardboard Alchemy newsletter before we closed and started the Pledge Manager, then we added coasters to everyone's cart. And then we do that for everyone who's a past backer. So good news, if you've backed Flamecraft, that is another way to win coasters from us. Every time we do a new campaign, we offer the coaster for that campaign free to everyone who's backed before. And in this particular case, we also added our newsletter because we knew not a lot of people had found us before. So we were adding coasters for a lot of people. But if you don't have those things, like I said, you can add those to your cart, no problem. You can get as many coasters as you want. Sandara painted, just made beautiful dragon coasters. One is a picnic where they're actually having a good time. And the other one is a picnic where it's gone out of control. And those 2 coasters are a lot of fun. Plus, we have the coasters from our previous campaigns. If you want to get Mission Catastrophe, you can also get robot coasters. And our first coasters ever were an action, a sci-fi, and a horror coaster, which we have a couple of those left. Let's see. Jeff, let's see. We had someone saying, well, sorry, I'm going to miss a lot of these questions here. We have some more. Sorry, the interface on this screen jumps a lot for me, so I'm looking at questions. I'll try and get to everyone. So you can switch language versions before you close out, absolutely. Yes, Axel says, regarding the translators, please have all your partners have the companion dragons' names untranslated. I wouldn't like to play with Pedro. I can't control what they're gonna do. All I know, I will mention that though. I will say, listen, on these dragons, we would really like it to stay this way. But again, they are in control of those translations. When will the game arrive? Any ideas yet? I know it's a lot logistically. We are still shooting for July of 2022, and that's an aggressive schedule for all the reasons I mentioned at the top of this video. Was that we have to coordinate. Not only is it a big coordination job with our own team. You know, Sendar's got a lot to draw. Manny's got a lot to balance and write out. We've got a lot to balance and produce, and the partners too have to get the translations done. So. And then on top of that, ships have to be under control and freight and all sorts of stuff. But we've talked with the manufacturer already. We explained our aggressive schedule, and that manufacturer is like, well, let's start going right now. And it's a fantastic that we're all on the same page about the timeline. So it's estimated, though, as Michaels points out, it's estimated. I did the puzzles. I received a message for coasters and other goodies. Do they still apply if entered the campaign before the end of it, but with $1? Yes. If you entered for $1 and you did the puzzles or signed up on our newsletter, you should see the free stuff in your cart. Now, we mentioned, though, that if you switch to a game tier, that does get erased in Backer Kit temporarily, and we're going to add it back. But yes, everyone who did the promotions during the time gets it. Someone says, I predict Friday, September 15th will be the arrival date of my copy. Now, that's funny because Kickstarter tends to be late. I get that joke. A lot of times I back projects and then I just don't worry about it because I know that things happen. I mean, especially because I'm a big fan of, say, Orange Nebula. And like, for example, I'm waiting for my copy of Unsettled, but I'm not worried about it. I know that Orange Nebula is A, making the best game possible. B, they had so many shipping things. I think one container was lost or something, and then they had to find it, and then they had to ship it. And then when it gets to the fulfillment center, it takes time. And a lot of times, our fulfillment center in the EU and UK takes time to email everybody and say, hey, did you change address? Is this address correct? And that stuff, like, it adds up. So yes, we might miss July, but that's normal. And we'll be communicating that along the way. And we're going to try and do it. Someone's asking, when will the plush be sent? That is at the same time as the game. Yes, everything goes out together. The art book, the plush, the bookmarks, the pins, everything. Let's see. Someone says, yeah, so glad I'm not the only one who does that. I love the fact that if you back Kickstarters, you sort of have like Christmas presents or birthday presents or something. Just a game shows up. That's the way to look at it, I think, is just be happy. I mean, because you've paid the money already, right? So this is just a gift part of the transaction. Oh, one day you're just going to get plush and pins and books and a game. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait for that day too. I mean, I think I was on one podcast where they asked, what is the most fun part? Making games is fun all the way through, but I think my favorite part is seeing pictures of someone who's just excited and gets to open it all and just see what got made, and it's such a great time. So all Kickstarters should post in December. It's tricky because there's Kickstarters at all different times and they deliver all different times. I have a friend who runs Kickstarters. Tate Wu runs several Kickstarters for Sunrise Tornado games, and they deliver like super fast because he makes tiny games. I think I backed one, and then a month later it was here, and that's awesome. But a lot of companies run into Chinese New Year is a big deal because what happens is I think you lose about 2 months of actual time, which is a big deal. It's because everyone slows down before the holiday, which is understandable. Then during the holiday, and then after the holiday, it's a mad scramble to get back. The other thing that happens is usually like the Christmas rush. Shipping containers, for example, around July and August are crazy because everyone's getting ready for the holiday season. You wouldn't think that they have to get ready that early, but Target's got to have all their shipments. So there's all these little things to navigate. And of course, the other one with making games is navigating the shows. Like, what is the best time to do a Kickstarter related to a show. I remember launching the Dwellings of Eldervale campaign right after I left Origins. I thought that was a great idea. I was like, oh, I'm going to do Origins and then I'm going to launch a Kickstarter. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know why I did that. Let's see. We're talking still about VAT, maybe. If anyone has questions on now, there's a lot of people on the wall who were kind of sticker shocked over the VAT, which I totally get. And I said at the beginning, VAT sucks. I wish we could take it out. I wish we could go back to the heydays of Kickstarter where no shipping authorities, nobody knew about Kickstarters being not really a purchase kind of a thing. But these are the days where we have to print all. We had to sign up for so many. Oh my gosh, the VAT paperwork is unbelievable. So I understand that it's not the most favorite topic. If you feel like there's a mistake being made, or like if you want to talk to us about it, our email again is hello@cardboardalchemy.com. We'll be happy to talk it out with you. We did post that there would be VAT. It sucks that there is VAT. I wish we could make it go away, but shipping and VAT in general are the less fun parts. The most fun parts is that you get this cool thing at the end, and it's going to be chock full of jumbo size art and dragons and mini pieces of toast, and it's going to be fantastic. I mean, a neoprene mat in every copy. We're making it worth it. Someone's asking, when do I get my VAT invoice? Now, this is something I might have to follow up with BackerKit, because I know that in BackerKit you should see a final total. I don't know if printing that will count as an invoice, because we don't get any other ways of doing it. There will also be a shipping notification that should match, like, say, our fulfillment center will have to send you a shipping email. If this is not what you're talking about, then definitely let us know. I can follow up with BackerKit and see if there's a more specific invoice, but I believe that hopefully screenshotting your final thing, which says VAT shipping and clarifies it, will cover it. If we are getting fancy dragon, here's a good question that I want to make sure. Oh, thank you, by the way, for Dwellings of Eldervale. Is an unbelievably great game. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let me get these questions here. If we are getting fancy dragon miniatures, will they come already packed in the game box, or we'll need to unwrap the plastic from the box to put them in? Okay, if you're getting the deluxe, the miniatures come in a game trays already in the game. They are sitting there in their slot, except for the fancy dragon, which comes in a separate tuck box. You'd have to open that tuck box and take the fancy dragon and put the fancy dragon in the game trays. If you're buying a separate set of miniatures that you just want to have an extra set, or if you've got a standard edition and you're just buying a set of miniatures, those will come in their own tuck box that is like packaged safely with all the miniatures secured. So that box, you'd open that up and stick those in your game box. Or if you are buying an extra set, you can crack that open and put them on your shelf, or whatever you're doing with your extra dragons. I can't wait to see pictures of dragons and coins and all the things. By the way, Nathan, since you said Dwellings of Eldervale is an unbelievably great game, and that an epic worker placement game was even possible, we took that game, and the designer of that game is Luke Laurie, and Cardboard Alchemy has announced that our next game is partnering with Luke Laurie to make his next unbelievable epic worker placement game in space called Andromeda's Edge. So if you follow along on all our stuff, we're going to give you more updates on when Luke's game is coming out. We have a lot of games coming out. Brad's got a really cool one to share soon. We've got more stuff to talk about for Flamecraft universe, but we want to, of course, make all sorts of different games, and Luke's style of engine building and worker placement isn't done anywhere else. In fact, I'll tell you what Luke's main philosophy is, that there shouldn't be any dead turns. And in a lot of worker placement games, you put a worker out, and then you put a worker out, and then you put a worker out, and then you pull all your workers back. And for some reason, people think that the pull all your workers back turn is okay, that it just sucks. But Luke has said, no, the pull back workers turn should be fun too. You're playing a game and you had to take an entire turn of pulling your workers back. Shouldn't that be just as awesome as when you put your workers out? Like, Why is that part of the game worse? So he makes games where that part is fun. And I think that's fantastic. He also makes bite-sized turns. So it's not like it's taking forever to get back to you. You do like one thing. And then you have 1 or 2 turns where you pull back and then you get to activate your whole engine. And it feels awesome. And then you're on to the next rounds. I mean, Luke's got it right. Games should not have these, I have to do this. I mean, like it's like putting VAT into a game. I don't know why you why would you make a turn that's like that? Hello, how's it going? People are cursing UK for VAT or the EU for VAT. I am sorry about VAT, everybody. Let's see if I have any other questions that I have not answered that have come up regularly. I'll just go through some of the questions we've seen before. Why are there 2 add-ons for Bread Plush and Meat Plush and Art Book? And that's because you can get the first one added to your game pledge for free shipping. So don't pick the other one. And some people have asked, is that normal? Can I put bread free shipping and meat plush for free shipping? Yes, you can. For every one of those 3 items, the first one, we're not adding shipping. After that, if you want to get like 10 art of books, the first one will be that first category. It won't let you add a second one. Then you'll add the regular art books with shipping after that. The other questions we've had before are, why did my free stuff disappear? We've covered that. Like if you switch levels, it has disappeared. But we will add it back every week. You don't have to do anything. If you use an alternate email to enter a contest, you might not automatically see that your free stuff gets fixed. So you'll have to email us at hello@cardboardalchemy.com. Are any items limited in the Pledge Manager? No, everything Flamecraft is not limited. You can get as much as you want up until November 24th when things might go limited. The only exception to that is the Cardboard Alchemy merch. So like past coasters and Mission Catastrophe are limited. Does the Fancy Dragon come with the Dragon Meeple, the heart, and the player aid? And it does. So if you get the Fancy Dragon Mini, you're also getting the pink Dragon Meeple, and you're also getting the pink heart. And the pink player aid for that dragon is already in the box. So you've got that all covered. If you get the Fancy Dragon, you get all the stuff. If I order Deluxe, am I missing any other game content? And that is a tricky one because Deluxe does have everything except for game pieces. It does not have the Fancy Dragon. Fancy Dragon is sold separately or won separately. So you do not have it. If you just back Deluxe and you're wondering, what do I not have? You already have coins. You already have wooden items. You already have game trays. You already have Dragon Minis, but you don't have a Fancy Dragon Mini. That's the only thing that's not in the Deluxe. Of course, the book and the plush are not in the Deluxe either. But I'm just saying, game pieces wise, that's the thing. Let's go back to see if there's any more live questions. Did I hear Flamecraft Universe? My poor wallet. Yes, we're making more Flamecraft. We're going to talk about that later. We've got to make the first Flamecraft, and we're focused, like I said, laser focused on making sure this game gets done fast, gets done well. We want everyone to be playing this game next summer. Have you decided which company or companies will handle the shipping of the backers? Will this be the same for Mission Catastrophe and Flamecraft? The answer to that question is that it is locked for Mission Catastrophe. We have our partners, but it's not necessarily that Flamecraft is locked. Of course, we have very good relationships with our partners, and if those continue, I don't see any reason why we would not use the same people. We'll be looking at how Mission Catastrophe delivers, of course, to make those decisions. In the past, I've worked with, I'll give you an example, I've worked with VFI now 2 times, and I like VFI's. I like the way they operate. Presumably, we would keep going with VFI, but Flamecraft is a much bigger Kickstarter, and maybe someone has a better offer. I mean, we're obviously working for the best, fastest and most efficient shipping we can get. Things like the EU will have. Right now, we're working with Spiral Galaxy on Mission Catastrophe, and Spiral Galaxy is amazing. But I do understand that Spiral Galaxy is still navigating the whole Brexit situation. And right now they're saying that they can deliver to the EU without getting additional customs, which is why we're sticking with them. If that changes in the future, we might have to say Spiral Galaxy is only our UK fulfillment center. So those are the kind of things we're going through. The other thing on Flamecraft is, we're working with Lucky Duck, and they have their own fulfillment deals as well, and they may offer us to join some of their fulfillment deals. So Flamecraft is possibly completely different in the fulfillment zone than Mission Catastrophe. We'll just have to see. Someone says, no more Flamecraft, I don't get paid enough. We'll give you a nice break between Flamecraft 1 and Flamecraft 2. And Flamecraft expansion and Flamecraft, all the, I can't even talk about all the things, but we'll give you a break so that you have time. But we want to make, like, if we do more, we've got to look at so many things I want to do on this campaign. Like even all the plushes, I know people want more, so we'll have to go possibly look into that. One of the things that was tricky on this one was doing a potion dragon with different color hands, because Sandara says that when the potion dragons work with ingredients, that changes their paw colors. And I want to look into that for plush, but that's complicated. That's a complicated plush, and I don't know. We didn't want to get into that this time, but we'll maybe look at that another time, because I want a potion dragon. Nathan saying the most important question is, what type of dragon would you want to have with you in real life? And I will say, by the way, that this question, we have a lot of good chatter on both our Discord and in our Facebook group. And I used to ask these kind of questions on Facebook, like if you could drink one potion, if you could make one plant or something in your garden oversized because you had a plant dragon, what would you pick? And I think those are fun. And if people want to jump into that kind of questions, join our Facebook group and say hello, and we'll ask those kind of fun things. I think we're doing pretty good. Let's see. Is the size of the cards the same as on the FAQ? I would wait on the cards just because we want to give that final number to everybody. But I think it's very... the size of the cards should probably be the same. We are doing mini cards for all of the dragons, enchantments, and hopefully companions. But those are the kind of things that, in the final moment we may tweak. We might make the companions bigger or the enchantments slightly larger. And so I would not want anyone to buy sleeves at this juncture, because the exact quantity and the exact sizes are going to be finalized in this next month of time, where we're going to like really buckle down and figure out all the details. And sometimes those things are, a plant may say to you, well, you could do the card at this size, but if you do it just a little bit bigger, it's one of our default cuts, and it's, it's cheaper, and you don't have to pay for extra paper and stuff like that. So there's the very last second, we're going to adjust all these numbers to be the final count of cards, the final size of cards, and then we're going to share that everywhere so that everyone's interested in buying sleeves will have that information. Also, we are going to work with game trays on the final tray, and we will have the jury will come to a decision on whether or not the jumbo cards have the ability to be sleeved, because that is something like we guarantee that the mini cards will be sleeved, but the box is crammed with stuff, so we cannot guarantee that the shop cards will be able to be sleeved. But I have talked already to Game Trays and said this is one of the things we would like to have happen, and Game Trays cares about that also. So when they get to that point, they're going to try and preserve sleeving for every single card. But if not, the mini cards for sure are going to be covered. Flamecraft Cinematic Universe. Oh man, we'll have lots to talk about someday. There's a greetings from Hong Kong, and thank you very much for tuning in. Do we need to purchase extra tokens and coins to enjoy the game? And to be completely honest, I'm going to say that no, you don't. I mean, I know I could say, oh yes, please buy all the extra things, but I'm just going to be frank with you. For example, the deluxe, you get wooden toast, you get those little meeples, and you get 35 of each of them, and there's a 5-player game, and nobody can hold more than 7. That there is still the possibility that on your turn you're holding 9 and someone else's and everyone's got 7, and you could possibly run out of toast for like 2 seconds. But in a minute you'll have to discard down, and there really isn't on the resource side a need for that. I will mention, however, that if you buy the extra tokens, I mean, you're going to have you can have more toast than you know what to do with. You can put it in other games. You have potions, you have little anvils and crystals. Those are cute. And if you want resource upgrades, this is kind of a fun way to go. If you think you're going to lose pieces, this is the way to make sure you have extra toast. But do you need it? Absolutely not. Also, it won't fit in the game trays in the box. So I'm just being completely honest. If you buy the extra wood toast, you have to figure out where to put it. Now, coins is a different ball game because coins, we're making a dragon-made cloth bag. We're going to make it as nice as possible with a drawstring. And if we can get the printing on it extra color or embroidered, we will, but it's going to be at minimum a great cloth bag with coins in it. Those coins will not fill out the whole bag. So if you buy another bag of coins, I don't know what you're going to do with the extra bag, but you can put those coins in the game. Coins are debatable if you would want to get more, because in the game, there are certain shops that are very coin producing. And we've played tons of games, and generally speaking, 24 coins covers it. I would think 99% of the time you're going to be fine. But there's always a chance that you're going to get a game with all the coin shops and someone's going to hoard coins, and then you're going to be out. In that particular case, it's very easy to, coins equal 1 point at the end of the game. So you just grab anything. You grab your local currency of coins and stick them in there, or coins from another game or whatever. It's very easy to get by. But if you're one of the people that says, no, I want dragon coins and I want to play this crazy coin hoarding game, I know I'm going to need more, that extra set of coins would A, help you out, and B, it's completely storable in the box. And all you'd have to do is figure out what to do with the extra coin bag, which would be maybe not a bad problem, because if you've got games like me, you could always use another bag. What else we got? Do you need more tokens? Do I want more tokens? Yeah, like I said, I think you don't need extra dragons. Obviously, those extra dragons would be good on, you know, little decorating your shelves or something, or giving to someone as a gift because they're fun to play with and paint or something. You don't need more toast, but I mean, if you want potion upgrades in some game or gem upgrades, they're kind of fun. You don't need more coins, but some games may run out of coins, and so therefore, coins are something that you might want to add. And Y trays, I want to do a shout out for game trays, because the Y trays that are already in the box will only hold 2. But if you want to get more Y trays, that's because you have other games that don't have cool game trays, and you want to use those Y trays to hold those resources. Like if you're playing Terraforming Mars or Energy Empire or something where the resources are loose, you could use those Y trays to hold them. And game trays is going to be making more of these Y trays. Some of them they'll make where they hold cards, and then they have one well for bits. They're going to have ones where they hold mini cards. So those are, it's a whole series, and this is the first in the series, these Y trays. So they're really useful for games that don't have trays. And if you buy the standard edition of Flamecraft because you just wanted to save some money and get the art, you can actually also buy the Y trays and put them in that box. So they will still fit, so you can hold your resources that way. Someone says, definitely getting a second set of dragon statues to use in D&D games. So that's cool. I would like to hear about your D&D adventures with the Flamecraft dragons, because we might want to go there too someday, you know. Okay, for the ones that are having trouble paying through Kickstarter, is Backer Kit going to be available after the late pledge? So just to clarify, there's 2 different things here. The Backer Kit is what people use when they're coming from Kickstarter. Whether you had a failed pledge or not, you're imported into the Backer Kit, and you can, you know, like if you had a failed credit card on Kickstarter, you can go through the Backer Kit, get all the things, put it in a new credit card, or pay with PayPal, and you're fine. If you never backed the game at all, then you're what's considered a late pledge. Like you're coming to this and you go through not the Backer Kit. There's actually sort of a website that's hosted, which we're going to launch today, that has almost the same stuff in it. Like I said, it doesn't have a free, it does have a free fancy dragon pin. It doesn't have the promos like if you did a puzzle, it doesn't have that kind of stuff. But it is available for everybody who just missed. And we know there's a lot of people in that category that are saying, well, I almost made it. I just found out about this game. And we're letting everyone get in during that same window where we're taking orders anyway. I mean, we're finding out how many we need to make so everyone can get in, and then we're going to close that store. We're going to lock up Backer Kit, and we're going to start making the game. The coins, someone's asked, are they included in the deluxe? The answer is yes. In your deluxe, a lot of people do ask this question as well. What is in the deluxe? If you look at for example, if you go through the Backer Kit, you'll see that you can add an extra standard or an extra deluxe. If you click on that, there's a whole description of what's in the deluxe. It goes over everything in there. but it has minis, it has coins, it has wooden stuff, it has everything from the standard except for the cardboard, and it has so it has the neoprene mat, has all the cards, and of course has the game trays. But it's all covered in there. And if you have any questions, you can ask us Facebook, Discord, or Kickstarter. I'm happy to go over it. And maybe in a future Kickstarter update, I will summarize that. But it's also on the Kickstarter page. I mean, it really goes over what's in Deluxe. How do we set up the backer kit? Sorry for the trouble. I don't know how to use it. That's no problem. I'm going to share my screen again because I have a example of when you first get to backer kit. So what you're going to do is you're going to get an email from backer kit. It looks like you're going to get an email. It's a little that email will have a link to go to backer kit to finish your survey. When you click on that link, you will show up at this screen, which is sort of, the intro screen to say, hey, thanks for supporting us. Here's what you're about to do. You're about to go through a survey. That survey has 5 questions in it. So how you set up backer kit is, if you were a backer, you get an email, click on that email. It might go to your spam folder. You find that email, and you'll go through this survey. At the end of 5 questions, you'll get to an add-on section that feels a lot like a shopping cart, and you'll already have the game and free items that you've gotten in there, and you'll be adding items to your cart. If you've already paid over on Kickstarter, the credit will be there, and then every item you add will just deduct against that credit. If you're adding items for the first time, a total will be there, and then it'll show you your shipping and your VAT charges and whatnot. You'll click next. You'll have to enter your address. That's the other really main reason for a pledge manager, is to keep all the addresses. And then you'll go to a checkout screen where you can either pick to pay with credit card, which will not be charged until November 24th, or with PayPal, which will be charged immediately. And then you can redo this survey at any time. You can click on that link again, go through all these questions, change your answers. You can change what's in your cart. Unless you've picked PayPal, which does charge you immediately, you can change anything you want. And for anyone who's wondering about addresses, you can change your address all the way until we ship. Not to the day we ship, but like that same month, we'll tell you the date that we're locking addresses, but it's way in the future. Let's see. I'm already buying every March Flamecraft. Thank you. So I'm gonna save my money from buying extra tokens and coins. I feel it's a good idea. If you're trying to decide between, do I need extra tokens and coins and say our pins, which will never be available again, I would say you already have the toast. Go for the stuff that's going to be rare. Thank you for everybody for chiming in. If you have questions that were not answered in this segment, we are of course here this whole time. We're not going anywhere. We're making this game every day, all the time. I'm in Discord a lot, so you can come into Discord and chat with us. We'll have the link all over the place, but I can put it in this video too. Or join our Facebook group, or say hi on the Kickstarter wall. We are happy to answer any questions. If those don't cover it, you can email us at hello@cardboardalchemy.com, and we'll be happy to help you all out. Thank you to everyone who's backed this game, everyone who's investing in it and saying we believe in it and this company. We appreciate all of you. We couldn't do this game without you. We are so excited to make Flamecraft. This is this first step. We're going to figure out how many Flamecraft we're making, and then we're going to get busy and we're going to make this game. So cheers, everybody. Someone, last question before we go. Someone's asking what translation partners will translate. We are going to do another update with all of our translation partners. We didn't quite have everyone's logo ready to share yet. We're going to do a list of those partners. We're also going to share every partner that's explained their philosophy on the naming. We're going to try and do that before the backer kit closes on as many partners as we can, just so we explain what you will get if you pick French or German, Japanese or Korean, anything you pick. So thank you again, everybody. It's good to talk to you, and I'll be around. So let me know if you have any other questions. Cheers.